My name is Rowan Challoner Hackney. I've been asked to become involved in the 250th anniversary events for the Royal Humane Society by recounting a story of great bravery from 1966. This year, lest ever we forget it, was the last time that England won the Football World Cup. However, there was also significant global events this time. China's Cultural Revolution began and the Indonesia-Malaysia confrontation ended. I've been asked to read the story of Charles Paul Greengrass, a Chief Petty Officer in the Royal Navy, serving the HMS St Angelo, the naval base at Malta. Royal Humane Society case number 70287 records the award of the Stanhope Gold Medal to Greengrass, this being the highest award bestowed by the Society, with only one being announced annually. Here goes. The President of the Royal Humane Society, His Royal Highness the Duke of Gloucester, has awarded the 1966 Stanhope Gold Medal to Chief Petty Officer Charles Paul Greengrass, Royal Navy, HMS St Angelo, for having, on the 22nd of October 1965, at great personal risk, gone to the rescue of a man who was in imminent danger of drowning in very rough and turbulent seas off Dragut Point at Slima, Malta, GC, and whose life he gallantly saved, this being the most meritorious case submitted to the Society for the year 1966. A 32-year-old man had been swept by heavy seas out of the swimming pool belonging to a hotel on Dragut Point. HMS Ashton and HM Tug Airedale went to the scene but were unable to effect a rescue because of the heavy sea running and the proximity of a lee shore. MFV Motor Fishing Vessel 256, commanded by Lieutenant John Buxey, Royal Navy, reached the scene and managed to get near enough to the man to throw a lifebuoy, which he grabbed. The man was then hauled to the MFV's side, where it was observed that he was beyond helping himself. Chief Petty Officer Paul Greengrass Salver jumped over the side to assist the man, who at that point let go of the lifebuoy and disappeared. Greengrass dived below the surface of the very rough sea and reappeared with him. At this stage, the MFV had been blown perilously close to the rocks, and the undertow of the heavy seas caused by the proximity of the rocks swept Greengrass and the saved man down underneath the MFV. They reappeared from under the stern, Greengrass still holding the man, who was no longer able to help himself at all. Twice more the two men were swept out of sight, and on each occasion the man was still supported by Greengrass. The violent rolling of the MFV, the undertow and general turbulence of the sea made it impossible for anyone on the MFV to assist the two men in the water, who it was feared would both be lost. After 3 attempts to reach the MFV, Greengrass made a last superhuman effort and managed, with the saved man, to get close enough to the MFV to be grabbed and hauled aboard. An annex to the Society's form states, during the course of this rescue, the MFV was being set rapidly onto the rocks of Dragut Point. CPO Greengrass was very well aware of this, and that the MFV might have to leave him in consequence, when his chance of recovery by boat would have been slight. He was also well aware that he would have stood little chance of escaping grave injury, or indeed surviving if the seas had swept him onto the rocks. Commodore commanding HMS St Angelo states, "It is therefore only necessary for me to state that I consider Chief Petty Officer Greengrass's actions to have been well beyond the scope of duty and to warrant immediate recognition. I have also considered the actions of Lieutenant John Buxey, Royal Navy, who was in command of the MFV. While not qualifying for award by the Royal Humane Society, I now nevertheless consider that this officer displayed seamanship and resolution of high order in his handling of the MFV in heavy and confused seas in the close proximity of a dangerous lee shore. I submit that he is worthy of a Commander-in-Chief's commendation." Admiral Sir John Hamilton, Commander-in-Chief of Mediterranean states, "I consider Chief Petty Officer Greengrass showed exceptional courage, determination in persisting in such difficult and dangerous conditions in his rescue attempt until it was finally successful. I strongly recommend that his brave actions should receive the recognition of a Royal Humane Society award." Greengrass had a fine naval record. He joined the Royal Navy as a boy in 1939, and during the Second World War was sunk in HMS Edinburgh in 1942. He then spent 2.5 months near Murmansk as a survivor. He next joined HMS Niger at Murmansk for return to the United Kingdom. He was sunk again, this time north of Iceland. Greengrass, the last of 7 survivors, having been in the sea for half an hour without a lifebelt. Later he served in Italy and India with combined operations. As of 1966, he was married with 2 sons. Thank you for listening to this story. It is one of thousands. We're encouraging people to become one of our governors. For just £100 in 2024, you'll be invited to attend a variety of society events, such as our annual General Court, where you'll see awardees receive their medals and hear their amazing stories. You'll also get a 250th anniversary certificate, invitation to a special celebration at St Paul's Cathedral in September. If you'd like to find out more about the Society and its work, do visit our website, royalhumanesociety.org.uk. Thank you for supporting us in any way you can in our 250th anniversary year. Thank you for listening.